Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi from the Grupo Dicas, the largest networks of travel blogs in the world, and today I'm here to tell you what to do in Fortaleza. What are all the things you have to do in this wonderful city, what each one is like, how long it is, how to get there, if you need an agency to do it, if you can do it on your own, the parks, the clubs. Anyway, it's a really cool video in which we'll talk about everything you can do there. So stay tuned, there will be some very quick and useful tips, guys. So don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, Fortaleza is one of the cities we like the best in Brazil. It has a very large tourist structure, it receives a lot of tourists, and it's logical that because of this, there are a lot of tours and beautiful things to do. So you have to organize your itinerary properly so that it doesn't get too rushed and you don't miss out on all the best tourist attractions, but the ones that suit you best. There are beautiful places, but sometimes you might not like them or they're not your style, so we're gonna summarize all of them here so you can see exactly what should be on your list, because there's a lot of options, guys. Well, in Fortaleza, most of the tourist attractions are most all on the beach. The beach is the main attraction. Everyone wants to be near the beach. Everything is on the beach. It's a very beachy trip, and it's very nice that the place is so well structured, the scenery is beautiful, and you love any trip you take. There are three main beaches that are the easiest to reach. They are close to Fortaleza: Iracema Beach, Meireles Beach, and Mucuripe Beach. These three are very close to the tourist center, so it will probably be close to where you're staying, but there's a problem, guys. They are visually beautiful, so you can walk on the beach, take pictures, but they are not so recommended for diving or bathing. In short, they don't offer good conditions for diving, so to dive, to enjoy the day at the sea, in the water, you have to choose other beaches. There are some beautiful ones, but these three main ones are where most of Fortaleza's tourist attractions are located, even though there are a lot of excursions that we're going to talk about outside Fortaleza. But within Fortaleza, these three beaches make up a package of beaches close to the center that you're sure to pass by a lot. There's an avenue called Avenida Beira Mar, which is the most famous avenue there. There are lots of restaurants and bars, and it's close to these beaches, so it goes around all the beaches. So the Seafront Avenue is a tourist attraction that you'll be walking around a lot, so it's good that you already know more or less about it, because it will be part of your itinerary whether you want it or not. And it's in this region that we find the best place to stay, the best location of all to stay in Fortaleza. We made a video about where to stay in Fortaleza, explaining the best hotels region by region. We gave you a lot of great tips. In short, for those of you who haven't seen the video yet and are here, the best place is the Meireles neighborhood. Each one calls it one way. That's where Meireles Beach is, which we've just talked about. That's where Iracema Beach is, which is right next to everything. This place concentrates almost all of Fortaleza's attractions. It has a very good tourist structure and nightlife, so you'll be walking around a lot. At night there are shops, restaurants, bars, forró, everything. So this is the area we always recommend. If you want to make it a bit easier, we'll leave it here in the description of the video. Click on show more. We'll leave you with several links. One of them will be the personalized map we've put together, which has the best region already marked out, so you can click and see the hotels in that region. It's the hotel search engine that we use for our trips, and it's the biggest in the world. I'm sure you know it too. We always do it there, so take a look. But this is the coolest area to stay in, and there are a lot of cheap hotels, a lot of slightly more expensive hotels. There are all kinds, and being in these locations you can be close to all the tourist attractions in Fortaleza. It's really the best place to stay. You can do everything with peace of mind, guys. You can put something on your list. You can have Avenida Beira Mar. There's the handicraft fair, which is a gigantic little fair. It's open every day and has all kinds of handicrafts. There is typical food, food, lace clothes, hammocks to put in your house, towels and dishcloths, all those handicrafts we love from the Northeast to buy. It's beautiful, there's a lot there, and it's a nice place to stroll around at night, to go for a walk, to have some ice cream, some beer, something. So that's why this neighborhood is so busy. It has the craft market, and a little further in there is the central market. The central market is like a shopping mall. It's a gigantic market with several floors and many stores. There are even more things than at the craft fair, and the stores are a little more structured. The central market is a little further inland, not so close to the beach, but close to. It's in the Meireles neighborhood and has lots of things for those who want to buy souvenirs and typical foods, rapadura, chestnuts. There's lots of cool stuff from Ceará culture, handicrafts, gifts from mom and dad, for friends. So it's also a place that you should definitely include on your list of visits. For those who like fish and seafood, there's also a fish market in Mucuripe, one of the nearby beaches. It's a market that sells everything from fish to shrimp and seafood. The nice thing is that it has lots of things for you to buy, but also if you don't want to buy and take away, that can be tricky, there are some restaurants and stalls selling fresh food for you to eat. It's a delight, and it has a beautiful view of the Fortaleza waterfront, a huge stretch. It's a very beautiful sight, so it's a very pleasant walk. You can even combine it with another place very close by, which is just as quick, but it's very beautiful. It's the Japanese garden, which is a very pretty square, very charming, and it has all the Japanese decoration. The trees are like bonsai trees. It's very beautiful. There's a red bridge that looks great, and everyone goes there to take pictures on the red bridge, so it's a nice trip to take. Now, talking briefly about another beach that's close by, Iracema Beach, we've already mentioned it here. You can walk there easily. There's a statue of Iracema which pays homage to the character in José Alencar's very famous book. He's a very famous author from Ceará, and everyone loves to go there and take pictures, see the statue, and there's also a very beautiful view of the Ponte dos Ingleses. It's a metal bridge that you see from afar and has also become very famous. It's part of Fortaleza's history and culture, so I think it's a very nice place to see, to take some pictures. It's really beautiful. And now, still close to this neighborhood, about 10-15 minutes away by car, is Praia do Futuro. For those who don't know, Praia do Futuro is the most famous beach in Fortaleza. In our opinion, it's the most beautiful. It's a beautiful place that you have to visit. It's just a few minutes away, but it's in an area where the sea is much better, much more suitable for swimming. So for those who want to get into the sea, have fun, and stay on the beach, this is the best beach near Fortaleza. There are others further away that are beautiful or even prettier, but close to the center, Praia do Futuro is certainly the best option. And a nice thing about Praia do Futuro is that it has a very good beach structure. There are several restaurants. In fact, it's funny that they call them barracas, but when you say barracas, you're thinking of a normal beach hut. No, it's more like a beach club or a superstructure. These are restaurants that you spend the whole day in. You eat there. They have portions, chairs, sun loungers, parasols. There are some that have swimming pool inside, toilets, a very complete leisure structure, as if it were a mini resort. And there are several. You will see that there are several scattered around the beach. You can visit one day, another the next. It's very pleasant, so take a whole day to enjoy Praia do Futuro, which is well worth it, guys. If you can stay there, it's really an amazing place. For those who love the beach, it's a nice place to stay. It's not as close to everything, the center and the nightlife, as the Meireles district, but for those who just love the beach, it's a very good place. There's a very nice hotel we stayed in that's very well located and has a gigantic tent downstairs. It's a great structure. I'll leave the link here in the video description for you to take a look. If you want to stay on the best beach and enjoy a lot of food and beer, take a look at this hotel we stayed at. It's sensational, and this hotel is part of a stall called Cumcubo Beach, which is one of the most famous and one of the ones we recommend the most, especially for adults, for those with children. It's a bit more lively. Sometimes there's electronic music, there are little festivals, mini DJs. It's a very nice place and one of the most famous stalls of all. And for those with children, we didn't have one yet. It's been a long time, but we really remember the stall called Chico do Caranguejo, a stall with lots of children and families because it has super cool playgrounds, toys. So for those with children, it makes a difference. They have fun while you relax, so it's a very good option too. It's really an amazing place for your kids. Now we're gonna leave the central part of Fortaleza for a while and head for the more distant walks, but you have to do it too. They are sensational. Now for an important tip that we always give, there are people who sometimes don't consider renting a car, thinking that renting a car can be expensive. Renting a car in Fortaleza is very easy, and the most people surprised, it's cheap. You save a lot more by renting a car than by paying for other means of transportation, because if you arrive and don't rent a car at the airport, you already have to pay for a cab or a transfer from the airport to the hotel, and then from the hotel back to the airport the last day. You have to pay for cabs and Uber every time you want to go to the Meireles neighborhood, to Praia do Futuro, and also to do all those remote excursions that we're going to talk about now. They're all an hour and a half, 2 hours away. If you go with the tour agency, which has a lot of them, you can go there too. It's an option. You pay $15 for one, $15 for the other. People sometimes split less than $20 a day. With less than $20 a day, sometimes divided, that's the price of the car more or less per day. You can rent a very nice car, pick it up at the airport, and keep it for your entire trip, and you will have much greater comfort. You can leave at any time you want. You don't have to keep to the agency timetable. You can stop and go. You can make your own itinerary, stop at any restaurant you like, see other beaches. In short, you have a lot of flexibility. It turns out to be a much better option. We really recommend, and it's cheaper. If you're going with 2 people, it's already cheaper to rent a car, but if you're going with more people, like 3 or 4, it's much cheaper because you're splitting the transfers between 4 people. You pay per person, so give it some thought. It's a worth look. Oh, and don't go straight to the rental companies. We'll leave the link here in the description of the video, which is a very good tool that we use on all our trips. It's a car rental price comparator. It's the biggest in Brazil. It's super famous. You go into it and enter the day of your trip in the airport in Fortaleza. It will search all the rental companies at the airport, which are all reliable and accredited, so you can rest assured that they will show you all kinds of cars. And the best thing is that they have much cheaper prices than the rental companies themselves. This is because of the negotiations they have with the rental companies, so you pay a lot less. So don't go straight to the rental company, book online beforehand, and don't wait to book on the spot, which is always much more expensive. Sometimes there aren't even any cars left, and there are only a few models, and it's always much more expensive. So the best way to save money and get a cheap car there is to book in advance and use the comparison tool. I'll leave the link here. It's super easy. Just go in and have a look and see how cool it is and how worthwhile it is. You can sometimes get a nicer car for $20 more in total. You can already get a Jeep Renegade or a car of the same type, so the trip ends up being much more better and relaxed. And guys, any questions you may have, any questions at all, just let us know and we'll be happy to help. If you want to make it even easier, send me a direct message on Instagram @SpyLorenzi and I'll reply with great pleasure. I really do help. And if you like, follow us there. We're always traveling around the world, trying to show travel tips in a cool way, and the family routine, who are a blast, guys, with our little ones. We're in Orlando now. We're living here for a while, and this studio is here in our house in Orlando. So we're showing a lot about the routine here, how it works, what the American life is like, the Disney parks, Universal, everything that we have here. So the content is very cool. Follow us there. I think you're gonna love it. Now let's talk about the beach park. You can't think of Fortaleza without mentioning Beach Park, one of the most famous water parks in the world and one of the largest in Latin America. Many people sometimes go to Fortaleza just to visit Beach Park, so we highly recommend that you spend at least one day there. Admission isn't that cheap. It costs around $50 a day, but it's a place you will spend the whole day in. It has a swimming pool, it has extreme attractions, it has a toboggan run that's one of the biggest in the world. I don't have the courage, but for those who like it, it's sensational. The kids have so much fun. There are lots of toys for children, adults, and families. For those who don't want to go on extreme rides and just want to relax, there are the pools with still waters and wave waters. There are chairs, there's a restaurant, a bar, and the beach there is also very beautiful. But there's a problem. The problem is that it's an hour or so from the center of Fortaleza, so you have to get around or pay for a transfer, a cab, which is going to be a bit expensive, or if you have a rental car, it's much easier. It's located in the municipality of Aquiras, 25 kilometers from the center of Fortaleza, and has more than 18 attractions classified as family, moderate, and extreme. The great thing about Beach Park is that it's located on Porto de Dunas Beach, which is a beautiful beach and well worth a visit. At Beach Park, you can go to the beach, so you can enjoy the beach. Beach Park is very nice. Beach Park is very worthwhile. It has a hut, just like the huts we mentioned it at Praia do Futuro, with a very nice structure. It's beautiful because there are a lot of coconut trees, and the look kind of caught my eye straight away. We realized that there are a lot of coconut palms there, so it's a beautiful sight in the middle of the beach. Even if you're not going to Beach Park, it's worth going to the stands. Finally, Beach Park is really worth taking some time out of your trip to visit. It's a sensational place, one of the most beautiful in Brazil, guys. It's super beautiful. So guys, one of the sensational places, one of the most beautiful in Brazil, but we're not going to go into detail here. We're going to talk about Jeri. Many people who go to Fortaleza end up wanting to visit Jeri, which is a sensational place, but it's a bit far away. It's 300 kilometers from Fortaleza, but it's not a normal 300 kilometers. There are lots of dunes that are about 25 kilometers of road that you take through sand dunes, so you have to have your own vehicle. It has to be a 4x4, so we recommend here that you maybe split up the trip. You want to visit Jeri, leave it there for a couple of days. There are also day trips. Some people do it with agencies. There are agencies that do the tour, spend the whole day there and come back. It's a bit of a drive, about 5 hours to get there and then back. It's a bit of a drive, about 5 hours to get there and then back, but some people like it. It's worth it. I find it a bit far. I find it tiring. If you have the opportunity, plan to go later. Stay in Fortaleza, go to Jeri and pay $100 for the vehicle. There are several Hilux 4x4 cars that take you out there, so you pay 100. You stay there for a couple of nights and you can see everything. It's small but very good, and then we return to Fortaleza. But we think the trip can be a bit tiring. Now talking about a place that's very nice. It's a very beautiful beach, very cozy, and it's 2 hours and 10, sometimes 2 hours and 20 from Fortaleza. It's the town of Canoa Quebrada. The beach is very beautiful. It contrasts a little with Fortaleza because of the cliffs. They're beautiful. You see those gigantic cliffs, and there are dunes too. Then you stop there and you can get a buggy and go on buggy rides to get to know the region better, explore. You can take a tour of the dunes. It's very nice. There are agencies that do the tour, and you pay a maximum of $15 to go there. You can also go by car. If you have a car, it's super easy. There's parking and you can get around very easily, and you can save money because renting a car sometimes can be really good for saving. And the tours, if you want to do it with an agency, there's a very good agency that does these tours. We ended up doing everything with them. I'll leave their websites here in the video description. You buy all the tours beforehand. That's another tip. By buying the tours beforehand, you save money because they're cheaper. At the time, the sellers try to push the price up and end up charging a little more. And above all, safety. You already have the security. That's a nice company, good, reputable, accredited. The vehicles are good. You won't have any trouble. So if you want to do the tours with the agencies, take a look at their website, which is very cool. You've already paid and everything is ready to go. They are very good. This Canoa Quebrada tour is one of the best selling of all. They said it's the one that gets out the most. It has a very nice main street that brings together almost all the local infrastructure. They've even jokingly named the little street Broadway do Ceará, and it's a very pleasant little street to walk along. So you can enjoy a whole afternoon, even a whole day on this beach in this town, which is very beautiful. There's a lot to do there. We totally recommend. And another beach that's very similar to this style, not that it's the same, but it's similar, is Morro Branco Beach. It's a little earlier, an hour and 40 minutes from this other beach. The nice thing is that it can be a stopover. You can stop off in Morro Branco and then continue on to Canoa Quebrada, so you're not so far away. It's a very nice stop too. The same goes for Falésia and the dunes. The cool thing is that there's a freshwater spring that's very famous there and people like to go there, but there's not much to do. Staying there, you end up getting to know it, so it might be a good option to combine these tour days in the same. There's a tour that's very famous there. All the agencies sell it. If you get to know the agency website, you see that it's one of the best-selling tours. It's called the 3 Beaches Tour. 3 beaches in one day. They do these 2 beaches that we've just talked about, but also the beach at the bridges on the same day. So you go with the transfer, you go there with a van, a company car that they stop at each one. The problem is that we don't think we can enjoy every place as much because there are some that deserve to be explored more, to stop for lunch, to stay there late, to stay on the beach, to enjoy the place. On this tour, it's a bit more rushed. You don't get to emphasize the places as much. We think that if you have a very busy itinerary and want to visit all 3 in the same day, it's a good option. It's worth it because you get to know all 3 of them really well, get to know them, enjoy them, take some pictures, and that's it. Now, if you have the time, try to dedicate a day to each one. It's completely worth it. They are very pleasant places to visit. This day trip to the 3 beaches is not expensive with the agencies. It costs us, what we did, I think it was $15. So it's nice considering that you get to visit 3 beaches in the same day. It's a bit rushed, but in the end it's worth it. Another beautiful beach which is worth a stroll but is also a bit far but very worthwhile is Praia de Lagoinha. Lagoinha is a very peaceful town, very quiet. It's a bit different, very different in fact from Fortaleza. Just the beach there is very nice and it's the same as the others. The scenery is very beautiful. There are dunes and several quad bikes leave from there. You can rent an ATV to explore the town better. So it's a very pleasant little town. You have to stay there all day but it's worth it. The tour is worth staying for. All the agencies also do this tour and it's about the same price, about $15-20. Or you can also, if you're driving, go by car. It's even easier so you can enjoy it, but it's a bit far. It'll take you a couple of hours, but you can stop off and explore the beaches. All these tours of Fortaleza, we said far away, but it's all beach, coastline, so all the roads will have beautiful places to stop, great places to eat. Cearás cuisine is very tasty, so there's no shortage of things to do along the way, so the journeys don't end up being so tiring. You can enjoy the view, you can stop whatever you want. If you are with a rental car, you can stop to eat. In general, it's not really tiring. And not to mention only the beaches that are far away, there's another beach that's a bit closer, which is also very beautiful and easier to get to, which is Cumcubo Beach. It's a very nice beach. That are also the dunes, but this one is much closer to Fortaleza, 30 kilometers away, so you end up arriving more quickly. It's beautiful and it's close. Well, enough about the beach, right? Otherwise, there's no itinerary. You need to spend 15 days in Fortaleza to get to know all these beaches. We've listed the main ones here, the coolest ones. Take a look, browse the photos. Sometimes just by looking around, you can identify which one of them you want. If you like a quiet place, Lagoinha is just right. If you like a trendy place, it's worth spending a few days in Jeri, which is very lively. The nightlife there is top-notch, so get your itinerary together. If you're with your family, you have to go to Beach Park. It's a great outing for the whole family, so there are lots of things. And now, leaving the beach for a moment, I'm going to talk about 2 places that are touristy, a bit more historically, which is in the center. It's close to the neighborhood you're staying in. It's much easier to get to. It's even in the Meireles neighborhood. There is the José de Alencar Theater. It's a very iconic theater in the city. It was inaugurated in 1910, and in 1990, it underwent a renovation and became the traditional José de Alencar Theater. It has been the stage for major performances in the cities, various festivals and parties, so a lot of people like to go because there's a guided tour. If you like theater, it's a very beautiful place, a very classic theater, so it's a great experience, well worth going. Check out the dates and times of the guided tours and book directly on their website. But it's a very nice historical tour, guys. It's really amazing, a top experience. There's also another place nearby for those who like culture. It's very cool, the Dragon of the Sea. It actually has a very long name. I'm going to have to read it. We call it the Sea Dragon. It's known as the Sea Dragon, but it's the Sea Dragon Center for Art and Culture. It's also close by. It's a center where there are several museums, artists, art galleries, and very nice restaurants. It's a cultural center that's full of culture. It's very pleasant for those who like culture, to see the works of Ceará, to learn about music, art, painting, you name it. There is everything there. So it's a place worth visiting, and it's close to the neighborhood too. It's another option. And down here, guys, in the description of the video, you can click on show more and all the links will appear. I'll give you everything, including the car rental comparator, the hotel finder, and a map with the best location for you, the hotels we've stayed in and highly recommend in Fortaleza. There are some that are very expensive and some that are very cheap, so there are all sorts of options for you to adapt to your trip. There's also the agency that sells all the tours, the airline ticket comparator that we always use too. I'm going to leave you with a travel guide so you can plan your trip. So save this video, share it with the people who are going to travel with you, with your partner, so you can plan. It's going to help a lot. These places that we've gotten to know over the years, that we know have the best prices, the best services, and that we always use to organize our trips. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you like it, don't forget to give us a like, because that's important, and subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot. And don't forget to watch the other videos about Fortaleza. There's the one on where to stay, the one on renting a car, and there's one that's really good, all the tips on Fortaleza. It's a step-by-step guide to organize your trip from start to finish with the best tips. So I'm going to highlight it here along with the playlist with all the other Fortaleza's videos for you to watch. So thank you very much, guys, and have nice trips.